This is an RTX 3080. And if you know anything about these cards, it's probably that no one can get their hands on them. But I was somehow able to get one. And this was not sent to me for a review or something. I wish. I bought this. Specifically, I bought the MSI Gaming X Trio. And I was able to get it in a very interesting way. Let's talk about it. But before that, I wanted to say, hello, my name is Adam, and this is my first video. I'm going to use this channel to talk about tech stuff and pretty much anything I find interesting. I find in real life I can ramble on and on about tech, so I figured why not record it. One thing I have planned right now is I'm going to water cool a top-of-the-line PC, so make sure you subscribe for that. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so if you're not aware, the RTX 3080 hit shelves, well mostly virtual shelves, on September 17th, 2020, and they sold out in seconds. In sense, there have been a few that trickled down, but those have also gone very quickly. So it's very difficult to find one.
Just try to cop a 3080 if you see one. I mean, those things are unicorns right now. If you see one in stock, buy it.
Demand is much higher than the supply. But I was able to get this one, and I will tell you how with this story. So this story begins, like many others, on a Thursday morning in metropolitan Detroit. I like to go to Microcenter every once in a while to browse and look around at all the cool computer parts and other stuff. So that morning, I arrived right at open and started browsing. So as I was looking at the RAM, an employee walks out of the storage room with a huge cart, and it's filled with 3080s and 3090s, and I was in shock. Remember, nobody can get their hands on these, and there's just a huge cart rolling past me. But as they went by, I assumed I could not get one. I figured there was some kind of queue system or pre-order system that I wouldn't be able to get one. I'd had to be on a list for weeks, so I just continued browsing the store. But then, a few minutes later, the employee comes up to me and he just asked, "Hey, you want a 3080? And I was like, yeah. And then he led me to a table where they were giving out 3080s and 3090s. And that's when I picked up this, an MSI Gaming X Trio RTX 3080. I would love to show you the performance of this card, but I don't have a test bench, any fancy benchmarking software, or many other cards to compare the performance, so I'll leave that up to the dozens of other YouTubers who have done that. But before this, I had an RX 580, and my goodness did I notice a few things at first. I mean, this thing is huge. Just look at the size difference. Look at it! This is 323 millimeters long with a 2.5 slot cooler. And it's much heavier than the 580. The next thing I noticed is the 3 8-pin PCIe power cables. That just shows you how much power this card takes. Rated at 340 watts, you better have a good power supply for this. I had to get a new one. And then once I got it plugged in, I noticed something else. This thing performs awesome. Awesomely, in an awesome manner. Like I said, I don't have any fancy benchmarking software yet. Subscribe so I can. But the performance I saw in the games I like to play was amazing. I was struggling to drive 60 FPS at 2K medium settings, and then I switched to this and a brand new monitor, and I'm blowing past 144 FPS, max settings, 2K. Unbelievable. I'm getting a much better gaming experience. I even found that in fast-paced competitive games like Call of Duty or Rocket League, I'm actually performing better. I don't know if that's due to the new graphics card or maybe I'm just having a few good days, but my point still stands. This card is providing a much better gaming experience than my RX 580, and I love it. Now remember my story from earlier? There's a part 2. Let's get into it. The other day, I was back at the same Microcenter, just there to browse again. I arrived right at open. As I walked in, I glanced over to the checkout area where I saw a stack of 3080s and 3090s, this time from EVGA. So I went on over to the DIY PC area, and I got asked again if I wanted a 3080 or 3090. Now I'm not made of money, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to buy a second one, even though I really wanted to. But the second part of this story teaches a pretty neat lesson. If you want an RTX 3080 or 3090, as soon as you can get one, try going to the brick and mortar stores right as they open. I have had 2 different opportunities to get a 3080 or a 3090 at Microcenter just by being there pretty early in the morning. This strategy may also work for the Radeon 6000 series and the Ryzen 5000 series, but it hasn't worked for me yet. And I cannot confirm this for either because I haven't been in the store where they've been in stock, so I don't know. So this strategy seems to be pretty effective, seeing and it's worked for me twice, but I don't know if it'll work for you, so let me know down in the comments if you're able to get a 3080 and how you did it. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and like the video if you liked it. Be sure to follow me on Twitch so you can see me game with this bad boy, link in bio. And comment if there's anything you'd like to see me do with this RTX 3080. I have a Ryzen 5 3600, so I was planning on testing the difference between PCIe Gen 4 versus Gen 3 on that system. So watch out and make sure you subscribe for that. Okay, that's it. Bye!